Hello, I'm Tula. Since my brush collection seems to be growing, I thought I will try some of my brushes out, see what brush strokes I can get with them. And you're welcome to join me as I try each one out and share some thoughts about it. I want to show you 3 brushes that I recently purchased that I am really enjoying. These are KUM brushes. I know KUM from the sharpeners, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that they also make brushes, and I had to try some. So I purchased this set of 3 brushes that is called Lellous Letters, named after or for this brush lettering artist that makes really nice work, it seems. And the line is the Memory Point. There are 4 brush shapes in the Memory Point line: flats, angle brushes, cat's tongue, and rounds like mine. I am really enjoying them, as I said, so I may in the future get some flats and cat tongue. I don't have any of those. Let's try them out. These are dry, and you can see that they have a really nice point. And if I wet it slightly, you can see that number 6 also has a beautiful point. I've had them for over 2 weeks now, I think, and I find myself gravitating towards using them. They are the springiest brushes I have. I think they tend to more towards acrylic and mixed media brushes than the soft watercolor ones, and they really invite fluid motions. Okay, I'm talking a lot, so let's start testing some brush strokes with them. I'll start with the largest one, the number 6. Okay, so let's try one with I want to show you something. My brush is fully loaded, and when I tip it downwards, I get this bead of liquid of watery paint around the bottom. I only had a drop fall down once. Mostly they hang on to the tip, and if I flip the brush the other way, the paint disperses back into the hairs. These are synthetics. Let's try to get a point on both sides, despite the brush being fully loaded. And I'll try to make some smaller shapes with it as well. Let's try a side stroke, really wide. Just feels very nice. Now, this is cellulose paper, and I noticed that on some papers I can't, do you hear that? An abrasion sound, but still the experience is very pleasing. Now I notice that the more paint I have, the thicker my lines are, and as the paint thins down I can get thinner lines. That goes for all three brushes. They're really, I can see why they are designated as lettering brushes, because they really invite a fluid sort of motion. Let's try the number 3. I'll just mix a bit of red into my yellow. So maybe it will help us differentiate between them. I'm really enjoying this yellow. This is the Daniel Smith New Gamboge. And the red I added is the Quinacridone Coral, which I also enjoy a lot. Okay, so this is the number 3. Let's try to get us in the center. And again, the thing with the bead. Let's see if it will drop off. It doesn't. Just stays there looking down. Okay, so extremely loaded brush. Do you hear the abrasion? Probably not. Okay, side stroke. If you are filling shapes in your paintings or in coloring, I think these brushes can be really good for it, because they have such a beautiful point. Again, the less paint I have on the brush, the thinner my lines become. Oops, that's a lot of paint. That's it. This is the number 3. Now I'll get my paint even redder for the number 1. Okay. The number 1, the smallest one I have, but I think they have also zeros and smaller brushes in the KUM line. So still quite a wide stroke. Let's try it sideways. Yeah, really wide, but I can also get nice thin lines. And if you do outlines, I think this is a nice brush for it. Has a nice water holding capacity. And according to KUM's website, these brushes should maintain their tip for a long time, but time will tell. I can't know about it at the moment. Very enjoyable, really nice. Now, one more thing I would like to mention about it, but I'm not sure about this. So if a lot of times, especially on mixed media and cellulose paper, let's do this with okay, we can do it with reds. Okay, so I'm holding Princeton Neptune here. This is a great brush. A lot of people use it, and I really love this brush. It's nothing against this specific brush. I just want to show you something. So a lot of times with other brushes on cellulose paper and mixed media paper, you see these darker puddles? These happen when I have a lot of paint or watery paint on my brush, and at the point where I stop pressing down and start to lift, and this probably has a lot to do with my hand, but I'm sure not just mine. Either where I start to lift or where I completely lift the brush off the paper, when they stop touching, I get a little bit of a run back of color. And on cotton, and especially the cold pressed, probably rough as well, the color disperses more evenly. On cotton hot pressed paper, less so, and on cellulose, and especially on mixed media paper, I will see it much more pronounced. Let's see, just found this scrap piece of paper on my table, and I think here we will be able to see it much more clearly. So this is the lovely Neptune, and this is what I get with it. Even if I try to be very slow and deliberate, I get this thing. And I'm suspecting that with the KUM, it doesn't happen as much. I'll use the same paint. I hope it's the same consistency. Got a little hair here somewhere. Okay, so this is the KUM. Don't think I'm pressing it differently, but you see I get much less of the puddle. I still get the one at the tip, and it disperses slowly back, but this is very inappropriate paper, so we will see some puddles. And let's go back to the Montval. Can you still see this? Can't see anything with the filming with my phone. Okay, so I have the KUM completely loaded. I still get this separation point, but look at my second brush stroke, it hardly happens. It's much more even. It's really interesting. Yeah, I know the things that are interesting in my life. Okay, I'm grabbing another brush I have. This is also Princeton, and this is the Aqua Elite number 4, and this is the okay, before I got the KUM, this was my springiest brush. So let's try this one again. Trying to be slow and deliberate as well. This happens at the point where, okay, here we have less, and this is my second stroke with paint. So the brush isn't as loaded. Interesting. So these were the Neptune, these are the Aqua Elite, and this is the KUM. And you can also see in the strokes I made before, there is a bit of a difference. You can see a bit of the puddle, but hardly any. This is from the tip of this grass line. I see a difference here. So that's another thing I noticed about them. And this is it. Thank you for watching. So this is it. I would love to hear your thoughts about this brush or your experience with it. I hope it helps you in deciding whether to buy it or not. I would really love to hear anything you have to say about it. And if you liked or found this video helpful, I hope you consider liking it and subscribing to my channel. And you're welcome to watch other videos I'm making in this series in this playlist. Thank you so much. Bye bye.